Very interesting to hear Tim's perspective on the amount of water that we're seeing here on Avenida Menendez. The bay is further out. We're on the bayfront. The seawall is right there, which separates the water from the land, except right now the land is kind of inundated. And so I have been out there. I can estimate that it's about waist deep in the middle of the road, which is Avenida Menendez, the road that runs from the fort to the Bridge of Lions. Now, of course, you're not going to be driving in this. You can't drive in this. But the mayor, not the mayor, but the city manager of St. Augustine, really encouraging people, when you are driving through puddled roads, eventually when this water recedes, do not drive quickly and cause wakes, because that just makes it worse for the people inside of the buildings that have already been flooded. When I mentioned that a little while ago, I had a couple more people say, yes, keep repeating that, because they are in homes where the water is not this high outside, but people keep driving by and it just sends that wake of water toward the houses and the businesses. So it's just something to remember here. Now, what we're looking at, again, people walking on that seawall and then that boat, but further down, you know, the road just continues going south and it is just completely flooded. Another thing to note here, because it was so interesting to hear what Tim was saying about, you know, in comparison to Irma, in comparison to Matthew, because we tend to do that, right? Because those are the storms that we know. I just spoke with somebody whose home was flooded during Matthew, flooded during Irma. Hi, Chuck. Thank you so much. He had marked on his garage where those high water marks were. And it coincides with what Tim was just saying. So at 12:30, 12:40 p.m. today, he went outside to see how is this comparing, because that was kind of around high tide-ish. How is this comparing to the high water marks from Irma and Matthew? It's 11 inches lower than Matthew at his home, 5 inches lower than Irma at his home. So that's just a comparison from that man's spot right there close to the lighthouse in St. Augustine. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. It's nice to have those figures, right? Again, just in that one spot, but it really coincides with what Tim was just saying. So is this like Irma? Well, it's like Irma. Yeah, it's like Irma. Is it as bad as Matthew as far as water elevation? At this point, no. Which is good news. Except when you're out in it and you're looking at this and going, oh my gosh. And I think that's what a lot of locals here have been thinking, because I'm a local and I'm going, you got to be kidding me, we're doing this again? And talking to the folks who work here at the hotel, and they're going, you got to be kidding me. This is just what we've experienced in the past. So I'm going to wrap things up from here. But this gives you an idea of what we're dealing with right here as the water meets the land. Back to you.